to my YouTube channel. I hope that you've been doing well, and I have a fun tutorial for us today. And as you might have seen obviously from the thumbnail and from the title of this video, it's gonna be a cute leg warmer that we can make. So I already started this last night to kind of get a feel for it, but I am going to show you from the very beginning on how to cast on. Also, if you want to do any more fancy, kind of more different colors, you want to get all of that prepared for yourself, but I'm just going to show you the basics on how to make this for yourself. So let's get into it. I'm going to drink my tea in the morning, so what you're going to do is you're going to get your knitting sticks that you prefer. And in this case, I'm using my really small ones. My 4.5 millimeter knitting stick. And I'm just using some of my respun yarn. Don't be alarmed at how little I have here. This is not really what I'm using for the bulk of this project. I'm just showing you guys how to cast on, and then I'm going to move back to my gray color. First and foremost, I'm going to show you guys how to make a loop so that we can put it on our knitting stick. So you're just going to take your yarn like this, cross it over, and pull the string that's longest on your yarn ball. And to place that on your knitting stick, and then you can pull the long string just to make it a bit tighter. I'm going to be casting on 20 stitches in total, so I already have one here that I classify as a stitch, so I'm going to just be casting on 19. So 1, 2, 3, 4, just like so, 5, kind of twist it, 6, 7, 19. So now that I've casted on my 20 stitches, I'm going to show you how to knit in the round. So you're going to turn your work like this. Be prepared to kind of maneuver your knitting sticks at this point, but I'm going to show you how to do that. What we're going to do is we're going to grab that yarn behind, and we're going to do our first knit stitch. So we're going underneath, we're wrapping that yarn around, and we're pulling it forward, okay, and taking it off our stick. And then we're doing that again, wrapping that yarn around and bringing that forward, and again, just like so. So I'll meet you back once I've done my knit stitch through all of these. Okay, so now that I've done my first knit row, what's going to happen is this is where I ended off. Where the stick is closest to the long string, that's what's going to be poking out of the yarn, and the stick furthest from this long string is going to be inside the stitches. So we need to kind of maneuver everything just like so. But now we have to actually pull, maybe from the back here, pull some of those stitches up, but not too up because this stick is supposed to be sticking out. So like this side should be very close to here, to where we're knitting. So maybe I'll let some more stitches kind of float to that side. Okay, perfect. Now we're here. So now it's kind of closer to the knitting area, right? So this is what we're dealing with. I'll set this down so I can kind of explain. So we have the cut end of our string just dangling to the side. We have our stick that is farthest away from the string attached to our yarn ball with all the stitches. Then we have our loop that's peeking out with the rest of our stitches right underneath the knitting stick that is closest to the string to our yarn ball. So that's kind of the setup. I'm going to continue doing our knit stitches. I'm preparing my knitting stick on the other side, and I'm kind of holding the string with some force just to keep it clinched in and not as far. And then once everything is ready, I'm literally going to start doing my knit stitch. So I'm going underneath that, grabbing that yarn again, and pulling it forward. Okay, so I'm going underneath, grabbing that yarn, pulling it forward. So now that I've done my last kind of stitch that I had available on that stick, I'm just going to continue to do that method. So you pull the rope, right? And then this stick that is closest to the string on our yarn ball should not be with all these stitches, so you just pull that out. And you continue just like how we were. So you kind of hold that closely and you do your knit stitches. These are the other side of the stitches, so we haven't done our third row yet. This is still completing our 20 stitches of the second official row. Oops. This rod should be poking out, and this rod should have the stitches on it. As you can see, the current situation, all the stitches are kind of down here, so all you have to do is pull that rod and it will go up appropriately to where it needs to. Perfect. Isn't fully out of those stitches. Perfect. And now we are here, and you're literally now going to continue doing your knit stitches. So another row of knit stitches all the way. You could take a look at your work. Okay. So at this point, you can kind of put your foot through this and see if it'll fit through. So I know that this fits through for me because you have the round kind of working, and while it's on the rod, you can really tell if it's going to fit you. And if not, you might have to add some more stitches. So I'll meet you at the point where I'll be taking out my piece here, and we'll continue working from here. Okay, so do a couple rows and I'll meet you when it's almost time to do our increases. So now that you've done a couple rows, so I'm on my 13th row and I'm so ready to start doing some increases because I know this fits me really well. So let me just give you some reference of my wrist. So it's a really nice look so far, but I need to start preparing for that wide kind of open area. Once we are at the back of our work, which you can tell always by this little tail here, I'm going to set up my stick. So my stick is here with the string, so this sticks out and this goes in, and then we continue knitting. But what I'm going to do is every third stitch, so my fourth stitch, I'm doing an increase. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my regular knit stitch. So that's 1, this is 2, this is 3, and then we have our fourth knit stitch, and then we're going to do our increase. So an increase is just turning that yarn, just like how when you cast on. It's that same motion. And then once we've done our increase, we're going to do another 4 stitches. So 1, 2, 3. Pull that when we're ready. Pull that in. 3, 4, and then our increase. So I am now back at my back area because you can see my little tail. And after I've done my first row of increases, I'm only going to do a regular row of knitting. So no increases on this row. How to knit your increase. So once your increase comes about, you're literally just gonna act as if it's a regular knit stitch. Put that on your loop. Okay, and then you're gonna continue doing what you have been doing. Now that I've completed my knit row after my increases, I'm literally going to do another increase row, and that's really going to be the pattern for the rest of this. So you're going to do your increase row, and then after your increase row, you're going to do 1 knit row. And then after the 1 knit row, you go back to another increase row. And then eventually this will grow. Okay, so I'm just going to give you a quick sneak peek of what's happening from my increase row and then my knit row. So you can see it's really increasing nicely here, and it's really gaining that form without it being too much. Try it on for you guys so you can kind of see the shape that it's doing, and then it will just continue to get more out there. And 12, so 13. So I did 13 regular knit stitches. I did 13 rows of increases and knit stitches, and now I'm just going to do a couple rows of just knit stitches once I've hit the back, and then I'll show you guys what to do next. I have completed what I wanted to. So what you're going to do is, once you are facing your back area, we're going to cast off similar to how we have been knitting. So you're going to do your knit stitch and another knit stitch, and then you're going to carry the first knit stitch over the second, just like so. Pull this, it makes it a little bit looser. So then you go like so, and then carry it over, pull that a bit, and that's how you cast off. So I will meet you once everything of our row is casted off. The one loop on your knitting stick, this is just where you can kind of pull it up and then snip here, but I'm just kind of cross over, go under, kind of wrap that under, and then I pull, just kind of, and then pull that through, and then you can kind of weave it in from the inside, but I'll just tuck that in for now. And then you can see that this is kind of like what we're working with. This is a different vibe from the ones in the thumbnail, but it's kind of the same process. So basically you have the long, if you're working up, this will be higher for your leg, and then you come down and then you want to start doing your increases. Also, this is when it's knitted, so there's also ways that you could do it when you're crocheting. I wanted it really like more for my leg. I could have worked it a little bit higher because this kind of gives it like just like more so about the shoe. But basically you can take the, you know, the information in terms of how to cast it on and then how to do your increases and stuff like that. But I am happy about this, and I could go try it on for you and see what it looks like. Thank you so much for watching and tuning into this video. Hope that you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Bye.